Thank you, Kelvin. So we've talked about new sales. Maybe we can briefly touch on the resale market now. So looking at earlier, I think Ismail also alluded to the resale market having a different trend compared to new sale. So resale volumes have been weak, and understandably so because of the restrictions, right? So in Q1 there were 2,080 resale transactions. That's Q1 this year. In April, 363, and in May, we're looking at 165. These are all caveats on realist, right? So sharp drop in April and May. But if you look at resale in April, there are more transactions than May, whereas in new sale, May was 75% higher than in April. Ismail, take us through your thoughts on this. And is this going to be a persistent trend going forward?
No, I think this is a reaction to the restriction and the circuit breaker. That's first point. Second point, these two products have got different requirements from the potential buyers. Okay. What do I mean by that? Maybe if I just touch on very quickly new launches. Buyers are very comfortable to buy online or virtually simply because they know first, they understand facts and figures without emotion. Point number one. Point number two, they know there is a reputable developer behind who have got a track record, and the Singapore system will ensure the developer deliver. Point number two. Point number three, all new launches comes with a 1-year defects liability period where the developer have to make good if any of the things that has been delivered is not up to the specified requirement. So from a buyer perspective, he is at ease to make a decision for a new launch virtually, knowing that he's not taking a huge risk. What matters are facts, figures, numbers, finance, without emotion. Yeah. So that's easy. When it comes to resale, it is buyers be aware. Beware is a caveat emptor, is a clause in the contract, which means to say, buy as is basis. After you buy and you exercise, you cannot go back and say, hey, I didn't realize you have a major crack and it was covered by the carpet. There's no recourse to this. So generally speaking, for the resale market, people prefer, because even though virtually I can show a resale flat, unless of course your decision is, I don't really care about some of these defects because I'm going to renovate. Then they are easier to make decisions. But people who are conscious about renovation, they want to have a physical look of the resale flat to see everything is in order. That's why the number dropped hugely. But therefore, come June, come this weekend, I think it is going to be crowded. I think a lot of people have been waiting and all the agents have been lining up their properties. People are going to go and see the resale properties. And I think the numbers will rebound come June, July, August.
Kelvin, on the resale market, right, based on your assessments, are asking prices holding up, or do you hear sellers now willing to drop asking prices? What's your
okay, if I look at it here, is that the general mass market property, there is residential owners who are staying, the price generally are much more stable. And in terms of price drop, in terms of drastic, it will not. Of course, some speculative units out there in the CBD or probably in Orchard areas here and there, they might have some of the more sellers who are willing to actually let go, but because most of them actually bought cheap, so they can still afford to sell lower in today's market. That's what I see. But of course, you can see some of these speculative units may actually wanted to sell if they want to. So I do see this coming in. Maybe I just want to also take this opportunity because I saw some question coming in and asking us, right, Ismail asked, will MAS possibly reduce the ABSD on this backdrop of COVID? 11% contraction in Q2 and the full year's projected minus 5.8. So the question is, a lot of people want to buy property. They are all just waiting for the ABSD to drop. So this question seems not easy to answer.
Okay, I think maybe if I attend that, I also don't want to be speculative on policy matter. I think that's not so right. But the fact here is this. Why there is a cooling measure is to make sure the Singapore government wants a sustainable growth. That is the key. The contrary to it here is this. When they look at the May numbers, And probably when they look at the June numbers, the government is going to say, not bad, what? People are still buying. So it's not that bad after all. So if I remove or ease the cooling measure right now, will it create a surge in the price, which the government do not like. The government like a sustainable growth. And I think, I scratch my head when I say that. I think it's because I think the government greater concern here is this: make sure the elections all settle in first, which is going to be very likely soon. You all know now, days, in a couple of these days. I don't want to also speculate that. So when all things are settled, if any tweaking of policy, it is not likely, my opinion again, I qualify, it is not likely a total removal of any of these things. It will not happen. Today, I believe the government very cleverly and intelligently, I must say that, intelligently have included an instrument known as additional buyer stamp duty. Therefore, it is not about totally removing and putting it. It is about tweaking it and calibrating it. All they need to do here is this: oh, foreigners to come in, drop by 5%. Singaporean like that, okay, maybe drop by 2%. If market is too hot, increase by 3%. This is a lever they do. But can we make decision of investment, waiting when this government? We can't. Therefore, what we enter is only one thing. We are buying property, and I would like to encourage every singular person, don't be speculative. You are coming in, my ideal suggestion will be, you must have the ability to hold the property at least 5 years. Though the seller stamp duty is 3 years, but I'm going to give you 5 years. As long as you can go through minimum 5 years and beyond, and then even beyond, when you have the holding power to sell, when the next cycle or when the market, you choose to sell, not your banker force you to sell. When your banker say you must sell, you are in trouble. When you say I want to exit, you are right. Then things will be okay.
Most definitely, if you ask, very simple, if any customers out there who really want to find out, right, how to make sure that the next 5 years can be sustainable here and there, right, most important, all our PropNex agents has the RAM system to help them to do all the necessary calculation to ensure the safety is being planned for. And that is something that we already have planned in. So that's the reason why for customers out there who really want to understand your financial part, very important is to engage our PropNex agents. We actually can really work out all your numbers because we have actually done the system well enough for you to see. Because why? A lot of customer has feedback to us saying that, well, that system allowed them to see very clearly before making any decision, because we also even work out the reserve fund available for them. So all these things has been in place. So just look out for any of our PropNex people out there. They will definitely be able to advise you based on our RAM system that we have created for all people here. Another question here is, Ismail, they will also ask you, will Bidadari be the next Bishan or Pinnacle at Duxton?
I think I may put it not as a Pinnacle at Duxton, but Bidadari as the next Bishan is more likely. Why I say I may not put it as a Pinnacle at Duxton, because Pinnacle at Duxton is a very small plot of area formerly known as Cantonment, okay? And it is literally, the hinterland is literally a stone throw away from Central Business District. And therefore it became a prize iconic trophy. And therefore, but Bidadari is huge. And so was Bishan. If you look at Bishan 20, 30 years ago, people didn't want to go to Bishan. Bishan was also part of the history, was like Bidadari too. Yeah, people shunned away from that. But subsequently, Bishan got its value because of its master plan and overall the transformation. And I think Bidadari has got an interesting transformation plan put in place. Therefore, if people go into Bidadari now, and if they're prepared to wait out the next 10, 15 years, they can be able to reap something similar growth, not in exact percentage, but something like in a Bishan story in time to come.
Good. I think because why, boss? I actually received a SMS because they are watching our Facebook now. Because we are doing this, they asked me a question. I better reply it because why personally message us. We better talk about it. He says that ask we all about landed properties, especially those that are located near MRT or Bidadari area. How is the price movement moving forward? Should we actually go for something in this kind of landed properties? Because yourself, you have bought the most landed properties. I think is the best question you should answer.
Okay, I think you see, we are so free flow, I'm sorry, Suying, we are not allowing you. We anyhow hantam and then we just choose to go back because
they text me as well. That's the answer.
yeah,
No worries.
the topic is we talk what, so we talk.
Yes, yes,
and
exactly.
Okay, but I think it's a valid point. Maybe probably Suying, we can take it up. I will answer this question, but landed is a very interesting segment. That could even probably we can talk an hour on this thing, bringing in some landed specialists, and I'm more than happy to be part of it and so on. But when I look at it, landed, to me, I think it is gold mine. Really, it's in a gold mine. Okay, what is the weakness of a landed? Maybe let me tell you the weakness for anyone who wants to buy. The weakness of a landed here is in terms of rental yield may not be as strong as a condominium, simply because your condominiums comes with facilities, lifestyle. Landed, unless you buy a solid landed property, you have your own lifestyle. If you just go and buy a landed at 2.5 million, 3 million, you can only get that much space and that much lifestyle you get. So from rental yield, you may not be strong. But point number two, by why landed is gold mine. Put it this way, when you look at it per square foot comparison, landed is a value proposition today, because you can buy a 2,000 square foot freehold land at about $3 million, depending on the outlying area. Okay, but therefore it is only for about 1,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5 per square foot. You buy a freehold land, you can plant your rambutan tree or chiku tree, whatever you want to do. So that is land. On the other hand, what about the capital appreciation? I think there's a good possibility of capital appreciation because at entry level, but the quantum, you must have at least a budget of 2.5 and above at the lowest entry level. The question they ask here is this, okay, what about landed at MRT or here? Okay, let me give you just very broad in 60 seconds or 90 seconds. I would prefer to buy a landed, by and large, a landed enclave. I would like to buy a landed enclave or landed zone. What do I mean by that? For example, if you say Serangoon Chom Chom is a complete landed cluster, or if you say Mountbatten landed, or you say Seletar landed, or if you say Siglap area is a landed, versus a small strip of landed of 100, 200 units near the road or facing an MRT and whatever it is, your stress level here is this. When you want to sell, it is not in the radar of many people who wants to go there. So therefore, your demand, you will not be in the radar. People would always want to say, oh, I'm staying here at Serangoon because why? My doctor friend is there, my lawyer friend is there. It's a status kind of thing. So that's why I see landed, you have to be very careful. I think you will have another segment to talk more about landed, but it is a gold standard of blue chip investment for anyone, I would say. And it is a Singaporean privilege.
It actually, in fact, we already planned in such a way that either next week or the following week, we're actually having this particular talk called We Discuss. Actually, that will be the segment that we are actually asking all the consumer out there who really want to find out something about landed, HDB, industrial, private residential. So all these questions can be answered in different segments. This is what we actually plan for, so that at least all the different group of people, right, can actually send your request. Very simple. What you need to do here is to send your question to all our PropNex agents out there, and we will collate all those things and we'll come up with all the different segments here so that we can answer to all your queries. So what you need to do is very simple. Just connect with our PropNex agent. They can actually come in and assist you, right? Thank you.